Hello, folks. PipeCat here. Let me demonstrate for you my latest post Yabo pipe. This is a Baracchini Red Stromboli Churchwarden. I forget what they call that shape right there. Do they call that a pot? I'm not sure. Anyway, this Churchwarden just came in, and when I got it, the bottom of the bowl was probably 1/8 of an inch deeper than the drought hole where it came out. So I mudded that up with about 1/8 of an inch thick of Miracle Mud cement from the usual source. And that made it perfect. Perfect smoker. Non-filtered pipe with a particularly thin draft hole. Particularly narrow draft. Anyway, what I'm smoking in it is this. GLP's Maltese Falcon. One of the finer boutique-y type English blends you can get out there. It's delicious. But mine happens to be just a tad damp, so it takes a little extra lighting. Once you get it going, it's heaven. Where have I been for a month? Well, where do I begin? Okay, give you the abbreviated version. On April 17th, I was driving home from a late lunch meeting with some friends, and my 2016 Volkswagen GTI Autobahn, which was finally in perfect condition, was T-boned and destroyed and totaled by a 22-year-old girl driving a Nissan who basically careened into me at an intersection without so much as applying her brakes or even her eyesight, as far as I can tell. And because I was making a left turn and she T-boned me on my passenger side, the law says I'm at fault. Anyway, long story, I'll just avoid that whole thing. While that is in dispute, I will not say more about it, except to say that left me without a car and left me with facing what could be unbelievable insurance surcharges. Well, between the insurance, paperwork, conferences, reports, and basically the hunt for a new vehicle with almost no time on my hands to do that. I've been away from the YTPC. I haven't been really able to keep up on people's content, so I apologize for that. A very select few people have I been able to actually keep up with, and usually my closest friends or newest associations. But that was my computer telling me that my backup has completed. Before I go any further, I want to do a shout out, a particularly specific one. As a lot of my watchers know, I have a particularly close association with Rune Dog. That's Kevin out in Montana. What I want to say about Kevin, and this is probably long overdue on my part, but he made a video yesterday, which would be May 5th, 2018, with the latest on his the effects of the cancer treatment on his personal being. And I thought it was one of the bravest videos I think I've seen anyone do in a long time. He shared a lot, and if you haven't seen that video, you should go and watch it. And what I want to say to Roondog is that faced with adversity that I don't know how I'd really face. I don't know how, never been there. But if I had been, I don't know that I would be as still immersed in my daily life as he is. He's a tough dude. He's tougher than even he knows he is. Watch that video, please, and you'll understand. It's very revealing. I'll just tell you that. So Kev, my hat's off to you, man. I admire you. That's some brave video posting you're doing there, and it's admirable. And you just push from that right into the next thing, and that's the pipe and the tobacco, and you just go from there. So thanks for doing that. That aside, and my housekeeping aside, and the story about my car aside, well, how I lost my car, what I wanted to actually share with you is a story you may be interested in hearing. It's a personal story. It's all transpired in the last couple of days, but it was such a Larry's luck story that I had to share it with the YTPC. I myself am getting bored with talking about cars on the YTPC channel that I have, but this one was particularly wow. Goes like this. Towards the end of this past week, today is Sunday, by the way, May 6th. Toward the end of the past week, I began car shopping online, and I did a search on, I'm particularly interested in Hondas. I want to get another Accord. I've had Honda Accords. I had them before I had my Volkswagen, and I think I want to go back to them, because in my current condition where I have trouble getting around, getting in and out of small vehicles, the Accord is pretty much perfect for me. And I decided, okay, I'm going to go back and get another one. They have just the right amount of tech, but not too much. And they do come in variable trim levels that are interesting. And I've always owned Accord LXs, and that's sort of their mid-range, nicely appointed, but without certain features. No sunroof, generally not power seats and things like that. But I figured this time maybe I'll go out looking for a certified pre-owned EX version. And that's the one with the sunroof and the extra bells and whistles and the power, everything. And after a certain year, they even have side view cameras on the right side. You put on your right blinker like you're going to change lanes and move to the right, and your display on your dashboard shows you an enhanced picture of whatever is going on in the right lane, even more than your mirror can see. So anyway, stuff like that. So I figured that's what I'd go looking for. I contacted a dealership that I had not purchased one from before. I wanted to see, because I bought all my Hondas from one dealership, the largest one in New England, before. And I said, well, this other one comes pretty highly recommended, and I've heard several people say that they were able to get a better deal at this other dealership. So I gave them a shot. I went on their website. I narrowed down about 6 stock numbers that I wanted to see. And I arranged a viewing for Saturday morning. That would have been yesterday morning at 9 a.m. As I said, this transpired towards the end of the past week. Well, on Friday, while thinking about going to the next morning's viewing of cars, I said, you know what? I think maybe I will check with my original dealer and see what they have, because it has been a few years, and they are known for their inventory and their choices. They offer a lot of inventory. You can find what you're looking for the most part. I thought, let's cover both bases. I'll look at one I've never seen before, and I'll go back to the old standard. So I reached out on their website. I picked out a few stock numbers and sent them in. And as you know always happens, 5 minutes after you click on a dealer's webpage, your cell phone's ringing. Oh, how can I help you? I'd be happy to assist you. All that stuff. And that's expected, and that's okay. I let them do it. I expect it. I let them do it. Salespeople can be annoying, but when you're asking for it, you have to expect it. So the lady from my old original dealership, the online sales manager, I guess she is, contacted me. Oh, Larry, you're a repeat customer. Yep, I bought several cars from you. That's wonderful. So, would you like to come down and take a look at them? Maybe some test drives. I said, well, yeah, I would, but I made a commitment already to a different Honda dealership for tomorrow morning. So I'm going to go there at 9 o'clock, and then I have an engagement with my band that night that I have to prep for in the afternoon. So I won't really have time over the weekend to do it. Maybe I'll come see you next week. She says, well, we would rather that you shopped us before you went elsewhere. I said, yeah, but I mean, I'm seeing them at 9 o'clock in the morning. She says, we're open till 9 tonight. Would you like to come down? And I thought about it. I guess I could. I didn't have another engagement. I don't have a life. I said, okay, let me do that then. It's still early. As soon as I get off work, I'll shoot down there. I did. And they hooked me up with a sales agent who showed me that of the 6 stock numbers that I had specified, 2 had been sold in the 2-hour time period before I got there. That's understandable. They're a huge dealership, and they move a lot of vehicles. So there were 4 left. One of them I looked at and rejected right out of hand because it had too much body damage on it. Like I said, looking for certified pre-owned, maybe 3 or 4 years old, you know, something like that, with a clean Carfax, 1 owner. I had very specific criteria. So I test drove 3. Tough choice. One of them was an LX model that was particularly low miles and in great shape, but I drove it and it just didn't feel that tight to me. For some reason, it just didn't feel right. So I rejected that one. Let's go to the next one. The next one was an EX. I didn't care for the color much, and it had a couple of scrapes in it. I said, well, I would think for that kind of money it could be a little bit cleaner than this one. The guy says, yeah, but it's mechanically perfect. I'm like, what else he got? Finally, the last one he showed me was a white 2015 Accord EX without the leather option. I prefer not to have leather. Certified pre-owned, clean Carfax, 1 owner, lease return. It was white with that ivory beige interior. Sharp looking car. I've never owned a white car. Actually, I did. It was a Subaru many years ago, but not a recent one. So I drove it, and it handled like a dream. And it had about 36,000 miles on it, and the price was decent. I said, geez, if I was going to pick one, it'd be this one, but it's got one problem. And the guy says, yeah, I knew you were going to say that. I'm talking, it smelled like cigarettes. And I have a particular distaste for the smell of cigarette smoke. I said, it's pretty strong. Whoever drove this car must have smoked in it every day for years, for 2 years. He says, well, we do have an ionizing machine that does a pretty good job removing the odor. We haven't had a chance to get to it yet. Let me do that and then see what you think. I said, you have to understand, I made a commitment to another dealership tomorrow morning. I committed to them, and I mean to go there, and I am a man of my word. I will go there, even if I like this one. He says, well, what if I told you I could get it into the ionizer and let it run all day Sunday, and then come back and look at it Sunday? I said, I won't be able to do that. I'm going to make my decision by tomorrow. That's where I've drawn my own line. It's been long enough, and I need a car. I've been driving this insurance rental, and my insurance allotment for that is about to run out. He says, I see. You won't even give me the extra day. I said, I can't. I won't have time to do it. I said, this is a nice car, but it stinks. And he said to me, tell you what, you like it that much, leave a deposit on it. And I'm very leery of this. I've been taken by this before. He said, leave a deposit, $500. I'll get a special dispensation from my business manager, from the general manager. He said, I'll give you 48 hours to make up your mind. And if for any reason you decide not to go with it, we'll refund your deposit. No questions asked, no fee, no charge, nothing. We'll part friends. I said, yeah, well, I've been had by that deal before. I once had a kindly old salesperson say, why don't you leave $100 on it and chew on it overnight, you know? Come back tomorrow and let me know if you want to keep it. And if you don't, well, then, you know, we'll refund you money. And then when I went back there the next day, a bunch of goons jumped out of the dealership right through the door. They came out, they took the plates off my Caravan I was driving and assigned them to the car that I was looking at. I said, no, I didn't buy that car yet. And this slimy guy in chains and a polyester sweatsuit comes out and says to me, oh, but you did. You bought this car. You put $100 down. That's called buying it. You bought it. I said, no. The guy said I could. He goes, I don't care what the guy said. You put money down. You bought it. This is your car. He said, and another thing. He goes, I don't want this thing back on my lot 2 years from now when you're looking to upgrade. This is a cheap car. You know, he basically was a crook, absolute criminal. That was about 15 years ago that happened. So when the guy said to me, do this deposit thing, and I guarantee, I said, I'll need that in writing, man. I'll need it in writing that if for any reason I change my mind within 48 hours, I'll get my money back. No deal. No sale. He's like, absolutely. He went and got it in writing. He signed it. His business manager signed it. His general manager signed it. He gave it to me. He goes, you're covered. Don't worry. We're not going to take you. I told him my horror story. He goes, we're not going to do that. So, okay, I'm trusting you. So, come the next morning, I went down to the second dealership like I said I would. I was right on time. Of the 6 stock numbers that I sent to them, same thing happened. 2 had sold. 2 had sold since you know, like 2 days before. And the other 4, same thing happened. Of the 4, I looked at 1 and rejected it right out of hand. It just didn't have enough stuff. I mean, the mileage was a little high, and it was an LX, and I thought they were asking just a bit too much for it as an LX. And so I ended up test driving 3, just like at the other place. And 1 didn't handle all that great, although it did have all the bells and whistles. The next one, it was okay, really no better than the first one. I said, well, you guys are going to be hard-pressed to beat the deal that I got at the other dealership. And she says to me, hold on, I got 1 more. It's an EX. It's just what you're looking for, except that it's 1 year older than your stipulation. Does that matter? I said, if it's a really good individual car, it shouldn't matter that much, but the price better reflect that. She says, I think you'll be happy. So she drove it up, and I said, wow, it is very pretty. It was a sort of a dark ash gray, deep metallic, beautiful flake in it. Sunroof, all the bells, whistles, the side view mirror, everything. Here, let's take it for a ride. I got out on the highway. I drove it back and forth, and then this car spoke to me. This car was like, I'm your car. It was tight, and it was smooth. And apparently with a Honda, it takes probably about 50 or 60,000 miles to break that car in. It'll start driving like it's always going to drive when it reaches about that mileage. And this car had 60,000 miles on it. Now, the other cars that I had driven, none of them had any more than 36,000 on them. And I said, well, mileage aside, it does handle like a dream. She says, yeah, and it was fast, too. It was really very peppy. Everything worked. The tires were brand new, and they were Michelin. I said, well, this is actually a pretty good deal. You know, I mean, a pretty nice car. What's the price tag? And she showed it to me. She goes, we didn't put this price tag in the window because obviously we want people to buy the newer cars first. But she goes, the price tag on this one, and she told me. I went, you're kidding. That's a good deal. She goes, well, at a dealership, mileage means more than it does to the layperson, the driver. Mileage in these cars, as you know, they'll go 300,000 miles without getting tired. I said, yeah, and I've known many that have. She says, so it's got 60,000 on it. It's a year older than you had specified, but it is, you know, everything you wanted. Clean Carfax, 1 owner, you know, no accidents. You know. So I went inside with her. She said, what do you think? Should I draw up the papers? I said, hold on, let me call the other dealer. And I called him, and I got my salesman, and I said, John, I need you to know that I found a deal that kind of beats yours. He says, how did it beat it? And I told him. And he said to me, hold on, don't pull the trigger yet. Let me put you on hold. You know what they're going to do. So he puts me on hold, and I'm sitting there at the table staring at the other salesperson. And she's like, what did he say? I said, he's got me on hold. She's like, oh, that's great. I'm like, yeah, well, let's see what he says. He gets back on the line. He says to me, what if I were to take $1,500 off the price of that white one that you put the deposit on? Because even though you put the deposit on already, what if I told you I'd take $1,500 off because of the odor in the interior? I pointed it out to the sales manager, the service manager, and he did indicate that, yeah, we could probably take something off because of that. He says, but I'm pretty confident we could get the smell out of it anyway. What if I did that? Can you give me another day? And I said, well, honestly, this other place has you beat by $2,000 and a better warranty through the dealership, not through a third party. He's like, that is kind of hard to beat. I said, well, John, I think knowing that I have to pull the trigger this weekend, I'm going to just go with this one. Please refund my deposit. He says, you're sure about that? I said, I'm absolutely sure. Refund my deposit. Please do that immediately. And if you need me to come back down there and sign something about it, I will. Because, no, you don't have to. I'm just going to put the money back on your card. You're all set. He says, but I'll leave you with this thought. He goes, if anything happens to this deal at the other dealership, call me back. I'm going to hold this car another day for you. I said, well, you hold it of your own remand, but my money comes back now. You're not going to make me wait past the 48-hour agreement time before you give me back my money. Listen to me now. I cancel this deal. I hereby cancel our deal. Give me back my money, period. He says, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to hold this car for you until I can get the smell out of it. But I'm telling you right now, and I'll still honor the $1,500 break. I said, well, it's probably not going to happen, but thank you for saying so. He goes, it's here if you need it. Call me. He goes, I can hold it for another day. That's it. I said, don't hold it at all. I'm not going to give you an agreement on any of it. Don't hold it. Sell it to someone else today. He says, I'll remember you said that. I said, thank you, John. I'm hanging up now. I'm going to look for my redeposit today. He says, I'll put it through. So anyway, I said to the lady who's staring at me, let's do it. She goes, great. Let me go draw up the paperwork. So long story short, I had to, it being Saturday morning and me having to get a cashier's check because I'm not going to finance this. That was the surprise I was springing on these people. I'm buying this car cash. I said, I'm not going to finance it. I don't want a car payment anymore. I'm going to borrow money against my own personal resources and pay myself back. I'm not going to go through a finance company. I want to be able to insure it whatever way I want. No lien holder. She's like, fine. All we need then is the cashier's check. Here's your exact amount. You put a deposit and then go get the rest from your bank and bring it back here. Make it out to us. And that's it. That's out the door price. Everything. Taxes, registration transfer, insurance transfer, everything else we do, paperwork, processing fees. This is the total price, and that's it. There will be no more. So, okay. So I drove. It took me 2 hours to get across to the town where the nearest terminal for my bank is. Got my cashier's check, and I drove back there. Fought traffic back there. Beautiful Saturday. Nice day to be out on a drive. Driving my rental car. Excuse me. So I show up back at the dealership with my check, and everything was hunky-dory. And the business manager comes out, shakes my hand. You've made a wise decision. You're going to love this car. I go, I already do. Because we've already moved your plates onto it and everything. Because I brought my plates with me when I went down there. We've already put the plates on. Here's the paperwork making it legal to drive. You just got to come back and get the inspection sticker, and that's it. After that, you're free to go, man. This is your car. Okay. So he gave me the paperwork saying you're legal to drive. Patted the car on the hood and said, see you later. Welcome to your new home, whatever. So I'm driving towards the driveway. This little Asian dude in a suit runs out in front of my car and gives me the stop hands. Stop. What's the matter? Sir, I'm trying to leave. Oh, you can't leave in this car. I said, I just bought this car. See? Sales, bill of sale. No. Park the car. Come inside. Please. Don't drive this car. And let me tell you, man, the hackles on the back of my neck went up like an angry hyena. And I stopped the car, I pulled it into a parking spot, and I went inside the building, and the guy sat me down. He goes, listen, a mistake was made. You can't take the car today. I said, what mistake was made, Mr. Finance Manager? He said, oh, we don't have title on this car. I said, you sold me a car that doesn't have a title? He said, no, title coming. We don't have a copy of it yet. Title has to be transferred to this dealership so that we can transfer it to you. I said, you mean to say in this big envelope that they just gave me with all this paperwork in it, there isn't a title? He goes, oh, look for yourself. There's no title. There was no title. I said, this is a scam. This is a scam. He says, not a scam, just a mistake. He says, salesperson who sold your car didn't realize that we didn't have title yet. He goes, I was looking at the paperwork and I saw it. He goes, and I had to stop you. I'm lucky I caught you. He goes, this is your car. You do own it, but officially, legally, you don't have a title yet. You can't take it off the lot. He says, all I'm telling you is that delivery is delayed. It's still your car, though. So I'm fuming. So he says, listen, he goes, here's what I'm going to do. He says, you left your rental car here and you canceled your reservation on it, so that one's gone. But we will give you a free loaner car, a 2018 Accord, brand new. Free loaner on us, in our name, and you're the driver. You're our driver. He goes, even when you put gas in the tank, it's coming out of our account. You won't even pay for gas. And when your car is ready, it's ready to go. Just drop this one off, and that's it. How's that? How's that? Is that okay? And I had to. I just drove 2 hours to get him a cashier's check. I said, okay. So I'm very, very mad. I'm rocking in my chair, and I'm very, very angry. I said, you are going to need to placate me in some other way. So he says, before you leave the building, now that I have your attention, there is a minor matter that you should pay attention to. I said, what's that going to be? You might want to look at a list of service options that you may be able to purchase for this car. We offer service plans. I said, no, I just want the one that the car came with. He says, excuse me? I said, I just want the service plan that the car came with. You know, 100,000 mile, 5-year powertrain, and 1 year bumper to bumper. He says, oh no, that's only for certified pre-owned. This is just used. And at this point, old PipeCat stood up and took his cane over his head and said, this deal is effing off. Do you understand? I said, you people, first you don't have a title and now you're telling me it's not certified? He goes, oh, it must be another mistake. I'm so sorry. I said, you don't know how sorry you're going to be. Now, they have cameras in these offices. And so this very large young gentleman from the front sales desk runs into the back office where we're sitting. He says, Larry, I'm going to ask you to calm down. I said, you can't ask that of me, and you couldn't make it happen. So give me something right now, man, or the cops are coming. And he's like, no, don't talk like that. No, please hear me out. Listen, hear me out. Listen, now calm down. Sit. Here, have a bottle of water. You want a cup of tea or something? Come on, sit down. And I'm like, this deal is off. He's like, wait, Larry, we're processing the check and everything already. Please, hear me out. I'm like, you got 10 seconds to make me listen to you. And the guy says to me, take the free loaner car and listen. Your car is certified. The finance manager didn't know it yet because we only just got the car, which is the same reason why we don't have the title yet. The thing just hit the lot. He goes, this car isn't even read fully into inventory yet. It's counted as one of our cars, but it's not processed. If he had waited another day, he'd have seen that it is certified pre-owned. I said, oh, so all of a sudden it's certified pre-owned, when before you said it wasn't. Or he said it wasn't. He goes, he was wrong. It is. I said, who can prove this to me? He says, come with me. I'm going to introduce you to the service manager. The service manager comes out. He goes, Larry, I just heard your story. I'm so sorry. I'm so embarrassed. He goes, listen, rest assured, you have purchased certified pre-owned. You have. He goes, look. He goes, it's even in your envelope. You see, look. Here's your point inspection, everything that we did. Look, here's the warranty signed. He goes, you're covered. You do have the powertrain. You do have the bumper to bumper. You're covered. Don't worry. And I'm like, I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, the guy down at the other dealership said, if anything should happen. And I'm thinking, he knew that stuff like this happens. He knew. He's a dealer. He's a seller at the largest dealership in the 6 states of New England. He knows what happens. So his words were ringing true, and I was wondering if I should have gone with that stinky white one to begin with. So, because I had to make the decision this weekend, and because I had already cut the cashier's check, and they had already given me a bill of sale, and I didn't want to wait for all that to be undone again, I let them give me that deal. I drove off in the brand new loaner car, 2018, a white one, ironically, a brand new white 2018 Accord, which is a rocket ship. It had just under 4,000 miles on it. I don't even have to buy the gas in it. And they even threw in the insurance on it in their own name. They said, we'll even buy the insurance from the rental agency for you. You don't even have to pay that. This car is yours to do with what you will. You are our driver of our rented car. How's that? Until you get yours. I said, I need to be happier than that, dude. He says, all right, listen. He goes, here's what we'll do. When your car is finished and prepped and even inspected, so there's nothing else waiting, he goes, I will have someone drive it out to you wherever you are and drop it off and pick up this rental Accord, and you'll have your car. He goes, and that'll conclude our business. I said, all right, I want that in writing also. He goes, well, that'd be kind of hard to put in writing, but you know what? I'll write you a note. So he took out one of the documents, I don't remember which one, and he wrote right on it. This person's car is to be delivered in person to the location of the purchaser at the time that the car is ready. And, I said, how long do you think it'll be? He goes, the official word is 2 weeks. He goes, but my word is 1 week. But I'll have it to you in the week, okay? I said, that's a long time to make me wait, and every day I'm going to be grinding my teeth harder. And if you're later than your word, boy, are there going to be fireworks. He's like, I understand. He goes, we're gonna come out of this with our pants down around our ankles. He goes, I know that. He says, please, don't talk bad about us until we make it right. And if we can't make it right, well, then whatever happens, happens, and the deal's off. But he goes, I'm telling you right now. I'm like, yeah, you tell me, he tells me, she tells me. So I just took the keys to the rental, He says, we're going to leave your plates on your car. It's your car. Because it's going to be right back here, locked up in my back room, in my service area. He goes, that's your car. That's not to be touched for any reason except to detail it further for you. Because that's it. That and inspect it. He says, that's it. That's your car. You own it. Your plates are on it. I said, all right, man, but I want that title, man. So, on my way driving home, and they had me there so long that instead of going home to rest before my band gig yesterday, I had to go straight to the rehearsal room. I couldn't even change my clothes. I couldn't shower. I had to go over there, and limping as I do, and furious with my throat already scratched up and having to sing all night, I had to go and set up, and we played the gig, and luckily I pulled it off and everything was okay. And everybody's asking me at the show, did you get your car? And I had to tell the same story that I just told you until I was hoarse. I'm still hoarse. You can hear my voice cracking. So that's where I've been. And that's one of a few items I've been dealing with in the last month. So very hard to let go of my GTI. That's very hard to imagine that such a beautiful, new, perfect little sports car could have its life ended after just a year by some careless 22-year-old chick. That was hard for me to let go of. I simply wasn't in the mood to make videos. I don't know. Is that an excuse? I don't know. So, this video is way too long. I want to thank you for your indulgence, and if you're hearing these words, that means that you have listened to the whole thing. You've watched the whole video, and thank you for that. But that's where I've been. So, back to the YTPC world. Upcoming and very shortly is going to be the next installment in my PipeCat's porch plantation project. You remember my little plant guys? Well, they ain't so little anymore, and I'll be showing you what they look like soon, and I'll be showing you what I'm going to do to create my porch plantation. So the next step is repotting them from the cups that they've been growing in into the larger pots, and I'm going to place them out outside, and I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to do it. I'm going to show you the prep. I'm going to show you the actual work, just a few examples, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's done being assembled outdoors. So watch for that. My porch plantation project, I should have something out, I'm guessing, within the next week or two. And sometime in the interim, I'll try to create some other content, because I really would like to get back to doing that. I've missed you guys, and anyway, thank you for indulging me in this whole thing. And you have a wonderful night. And one more plug for Kevin, Rune Dog. If you haven't seen his May 5th video, May 5th, 2018, if you haven't seen it, even if you're watching this video a year later, I want you to go back and watch that one. Rune Dog, Kevin, May 5th, 2018, watch that video, and you'll understand what a tough bastard he is. He's a great guy. He's more man than I am in certain ways, and you watch that video and you will know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to leave it right there. I'm going to answer a bunch of texts that are coming in. Thank you again for viewing my channel. If you haven't already, look at my previous stuff. Some of it's actually funny and enjoyable. And sub me if you haven't. And I will look forward to presenting my PipeCat's Porch Plantation Project update. Have a good one.